Hello, everybody. Today I'll be going over and explaining our amazing RPG game that we built for our second project. As you can see, the basketball game is called Pivotal Echoes. It's a basketball RPG game that we created using HTML, CSS, and PHP. Here are some of the things we will go over in today's slideshow. First thing we'll go over is the members. This code was not built by one person. It was built by most of the people who all had individual roles. In that slide, everybody will go over the role and you get to learn more about what everybody contributed. Second, we'll go over the challenges. This making a text-based RPG game in HTML, CSS, and PHP was no easy task. We faced plenty of challenges along the way. Then after that, we will demonstrate with a demo that just goes through the game and lets you see what it was. After that, we'll explain the code. First, we'll start with the HTML and CSS portion. Then we'll go over to the PHP and CSS portion. Then at the end, we'll break down some more PHP code and then conclude everything. Here are the members. The first one is myself. I am Tyson. I am the leader and the tester. In this role as the leader and the tester, I made sure everybody was actively engaged throughout the project and doing what they were supposed to do. And then at the end, when the code was done and everybody was doing what they had to do, I tested out the code and made sure it ran smoothly.
Hello, my name is Steven, and I am one of the designers for this project. My objective revolves around crafting a website that not only captivates users with visual appeal, but also ensure a seamless and user-friendly navigation experience.
Hello, my name is Dennis, and I'm the other designer for this project. The focus on my portion was to create an appealing visual that would bring users in and make sure that the user would have a good experience while going through the RPG.
Hello, my name is Elaf, and I'm one of the coders in this project. My responsibilities were on user aspects and the login side of the project while making sure everything ran and was put together.
Hello, I am Ritik and I was one of the coders for this project. My responsibility was to establish session cookies to make sure all the data from one web page is getting carried over to another. Additionally, I developed the choice algorithm for the role-playing game and made sure that the leaderboard was working.
As I mentioned before, there were plenty of challenges that we faced throughout this project. The first one being, how can the user decisions be structured to impact the unfolding narrative throughout the story? The second one being, how can we incorporate a leaderboard or a scoring system into this RPG game? A leaderboard scoring system might influence and get more people to play the game more just to create some sense of competition. The third one is, how can we enhance the attractiveness of a text-based RPG website? It is very difficult to make something that's more text-based that doesn't have a whole lot of images, look good and appealing to the eye. But we figured it out.
Okay. So for the demo of this project, here's a demo. And as you can see, this is our login page. That's our home page for this project. But so you can add in your username and password over here to log in. And from here, you can just add in your username, and if the username and password is incorrect, then it will just show you invalid username or password. But if you enter the correct password, it will match it through login PHP and it will put you in our main page, and it will show your username at different places. Like here, it will welcomes you with your username. Over here, it will also welcome you with your username. And suppose you don't have an account, so you can just click here to register for an account, and you can just put your username. Like I can put God Gamer and add my password to it, and it's successful. And I can just come here, just put my username and password, and it will welcome me with my new username and new username, and here's our leaderboard. As you can see, my new username also appeared in the leaderboard. And in the leaderboard, if depending on your choice, it will give you points. Like here, you can see if I select that, I got 10 points, and it's a live leaderboard, so it will update all the points quickly as you make choices. As I keep getting green, I get more, but if I had selected this option for the first one, it would have made that the game got over. And also here, our logo. The logo also doubles as a log out button. It's not just a visual, it's a functional logo. So you can see if I click on it, it will just put me in the login form and it logs me out of the account.
As shown in the demonstration, the majority of the web page are designed to feature the logo positioned in the upper left corner. Not only is it an aesthetic choice, but it also serves a functional purpose. Users can interact with the logo by clicking on it, which redirects them back to the login page. Yeah, so here's a CSS element. It's pretty straightforward. The text color is customized for each word in the logo, enhancing its visual impact. The use of text decoration none ensure the removal of underlines, contributing to a cleaner and more visual appealing logo. Additionally, for the dot line element, we position it to bring it closer to the logo. Transitioning to the login.html, you notice that there's a div around the form, which is used to center it on the web page. Within this form, each input is consistently assigned the registration text box class. The reason why the div has a class called signup and the input has a class called registration text box is because it shared the same design as the registration form, which I'll present shortly. Here is the CSS for the form. It is structured to center on the web page by using positioning and margin auto. Aesthetic considerations are evident as we've applied border radius to lend a pleasing appearance, steering clear of a basic box look for the login form. This attention to detail extends to the text box, where we smooth the edge for a visual appealing effect. Here is the registration form, which, as mentioned earlier, has the same design principle as the login form, featuring an identical class name for consistency. With this visual representation, it will show the user to easily navigate the form.
All right, so during the creation of the post registration, we made sure to have a confirmation message and then a redirect to take you back to the login page for ease of access. Once you're successfully logged in, you're greeted with the introduction of the RPG, as well as a welcome with whichever name you used to log in. As well as that, we have the main topic in the form of our background, which is basketball, and we had to cover the entire page. Moving on, we established a leaderboard for a place to show points and a username that receives from a .text file. And of course, we style it in a simple fashion and established lines and borders around it just to show where it separates. Here, we highlighted the important text that tells you what decision you're going to be making. And we also created a submit, which takes you to the next prompt if you don't get a career-ending decision. If you do end up choosing a career-ending decision for any reason, you get a game over. And you're going to have to reset if you want to make any progress. And just like in video games, game overs have to be read. If you do make a good decision and move on, you get a green, positive good decision, where if you further your life and career, you get a plus in terms of points. And that concludes the design implementations for our RPG.
This PHP script functions as a user registration system. Upon receiving post data from submission, it extracts the username and password field along with the confirmation password. It performs a check to ensure the entered password matches the confirmed password. If the password doesn't match, it displays error message. Upon successful registration, it echoes registration successful message. The PHP script handles user login authentication. It initiates a session and checks for post data submission. Upon receiving the username and password, it reads user data from file name user text containing stored username and password. It uses explodes to analyze each line into an array, then goes through each user data line using a for each loop. Inside the loop, it separates the stored username and password using explode and compares them to the entered username and password. If a match is found, it sets the username and sessions variables and redirects the user to the main.php. However, if no match is found, it displays an invalid username or password message. This piece of code ensures that only authenticated users with valid sessions username can access the subsequent content, and if not, they are redirected to the login page for authentications. This code generates an unordered list and displays the username of the currently logged in user. It uses PHP to retrieve the username stored in the session and embeds it within an HTML list item to output on the web page.
Here, session start will initialize a new session and store in on users computer cookies. PHP generates a unique session ID for each user session. This ID is typically stored in cookies of user's computer. Now we are just creating a HTML form with method post for user to select a choice in the role-playing game, and for each choice is tied to an ID which we will use to determine what option to give to user based on the previous choice. Now we request the server method to set the previous choice from so that PHP pull the data from the form to see the ID of the choice made by the user. Then depending on the choice of the user, it will show user one of the if or else blocks. And if the choice selected is better than the other, the user will get points incremented to the score. We handled all the choices for the game in the same way. Here, this is a logic for the leaderboard. Here, the f variable file f open will open the leaderboard.txt in append mode, so the user cannot see it. And then the f write will get the username and the current points of the player from an active session from using cookies. Then we have a header of the leaderboard. Now we have the logic to add up all the points from the same user on the leaderboard. We have to initialize file variable to read the context of the leaderboard.txt, and the while loop is set so that if the contents are readable, then it will just list all the scores with the username and add up the points scored by the same user. Then it will exit the while loop. Then we display the leaderboard on the web page with the points scored by each user.
As you can see, there are a lot of work and effort put into this project. We created an amazing RPG game that, from the looks of it, looked like it went pretty well. But thank you for tuning in. But this concludes our presentation.